Hello and welcome everyone, welcome to DevChatter. My name is Brendan and today we're going to be doing some more live coding is our usual thing here on the stream. First off, I want to get a couple of things out of the way. I want to make sure that I tell everyone about our Discord, which is a place where you can chat with me and other viewers of DevChatter outside of the regular streaming time. Link of course in the chat as well as down below the stream. We are a channel that is welcoming to people of all skill levels and interests and technologies, and we want to invite you both to follow along, watch what we're doing, ask questions, and learn. And if you are so inclined, you can also check out our open source projects, which is most of the code that we do here on the stream. And you can find those over at github.com/devchatter. Again, links in the chat and down below. I want to make sure that I take a moment to welcome everybody that is showing up today at the beginning of the stream. Hello, welcome. Hopefully you're all having a fantastic Tuesday. It is afternoon here and pretty nice weather, if I do say so. We are getting reasonably warm where I am. If it is morning or evening or night where you are, I hope that it is going well, regardless of the time of day. Crichton. Good evening, welcome. Hey, Fishing Dev, Link Slumps, greetings, S&B, Paramedic, hello, and anyone who is silent in the chat, greetings. Happy Tuesday. Okay, so, I wanted to discuss a couple of things on stream today. So I do want to work on our DevStreams project. We can do a couple of those things we just mentioned, which is having a look at our GitHub repo. Link Slumps mentions that some updates were made to a PR, so we sent this one back with a couple of change requests. And one commit, I guess they're not in yet. Okay, so sounds good, Link Slumps. We'll take a look at some point in the future. Alright, so here's what I want to talk about first. I first off want to let everybody know who is a regular here on the stream and does follow along. So our bot should be running over there in chat. You can tell from the fact that it responded to some of my questions, or some of my requests for it to post links into the chat, which it did. And the thing about that I want to mention is we've been having a couple of issues with it on some recent streams where the bot will just die and I have to restart it and get it back into the chat. I ended up tracking down what the reason for that is, and I want to let all of you know, just in case you are using something similar. So, how to phrase this? Okay, so, not that long ago, so it was actually the beginning of this year, so beginning of 2019 should have been, and I haven't looked into this exactly, but I just remember this from last year when we were working on it, Twitch retired the version 3 and version 5 of their API, which were the ones that had been deprecated last year, and we said, hey, we're going to stop depending on that. Luckily, we're using a library that is going to update that away. Now, what I believe happened is that we need to adjust the way that we use the library we use that connects to that API. In addition, I think we're having both permissions issues and things of that nature in connecting to the Twitch API. So we just need to do an update at some point. So what I think is happening is some kind of check that the bot does or something like that ends up failing. And we're not handling the failure effectively and not like reconnecting. So I think the bot is losing its connection to Twitch. So I think it's still running, but it's just not able to send us back our messages. Seems to be what's happening. So it receives the command and does nothing with it. So hopefully that'll just be a configuration change to get it working again, but we'll see what ends up happening. I just figured I'd let all the regulars know about that one. We might dig into that on the stream, or we might do it outside the stream. I haven't totally decided yet. So, either way, the point is, that's running, there's an issue, so if it does end up messing up, that's why. Okay. Let's take a look at our DevStreams project, which is the one that we are working on today. So welcome everyone. I know you're all still streaming in here. If you are just showing up, we are planning on working on our DevStreams project today, I think, since I don't want to just dig around in configuration the whole time. As interesting as that is and as useful as it is if anyone wants to write anything that interacts with Twitch, let's have a look. Alright. So we have 2 pull requests coming in. I am on the dev branch right now, and we need to take a look at the calendar page, as I believe this is the one that we were working on, right? What did we just merge in? Brendan, what did you just merge in? We just merged in some changes recently. I want to take a look at those. So we merged in 2 pull requests. One of them was from Michael Jolly, right here, and one of them was the one that we did. So we adjusted the tag selection on the channels page. So we messed with tag selection on the channels page. Okay. Which means that I think the UX calendar page is still an outstanding branch that hasn't been merged in. Is that correct? Branches, it has not even been pushed. Okay. I think this is the one that we've been working on, but I'm going to take a quick look on the server and we will find out. So I'm going to push it up here, and I'm going to go to new pull request, and let's see what it thinks the changes are. Switching that to a list, changing that to that. Yes, okay, sounds good. Yep, there we go. Perfect. That is the one we want. So this is an unpushed branch that has not been merged in. This is what we want to be working on. Okay, great. We're not creating a pull request from it right now because we're not done with it. Okay, so our plan for today. We want to, first off, get rid of that because we're not using it. We are going to create a Vue.js component. So don't go anywhere yet. That is what we're setting up. Yes, paramedic, that is correct. Aquaman died in the Battle of the Five Armies when Voldemort cut him down with his lightsaber, I believe is what happened. And welcome, hey S&B, hey Strife, hey Brave Cobra, welcome, welcome. Alright, so, greetings, welcome everyone. Let's take a look. We got rid of our multi-select control. That's why I deleted those references there. The next thing that I want to open is our calendar CSHTML. Okay, so that sets up our initial values on that. And then we need to open up Streams calendar. So let's open a couple of files. Here we go. We no longer need that multi-select component. It is gone. We do want to create our own component, actually. Do we need to define it that way? Maybe. Yes, S&B, deleting code, exactly. That is correct, Crichton. Fake spoilers. We are going to create some new code, though, S&B, so it's not just code deletion, a little bit of creation. So I'm going to go grab this. This is the basic way of doing a simple component creation in Vue. So if you just want to create one quick component that can just get reused, this is the way you do it. I kind of want to show it here, however, I am aware of the fact that we are not going to want to use this long term because of the way this template gets created. So that's the basic way to do it. Then, on the actual page, we should be able to create one like that. So this button counter concept would create one of these. So if we just took this and put it on the page, we could create it like this, and I will toss this on so we can see if it works. That way we can work out this kink and then make it the one that we actually want it to be. So we're replacing our tag little div thing here. So let's do this. Div bonk button counter. Okay, let's run the site. Yes, S&B, the goal is better code because we are going to extract out the component that we are using on 2 pages. So we're doing tag selection, so we're going to do it both spots. That is the way that we like to start the stream there. I want to start off by thanking Under the Digit, which is absolutely how I'm pronouncing that name, for the 2 months of Twitch Prime. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. We absolutely needed that hype in the chat at the beginning of the stream. Big bit of information for anybody who is a subscriber to the channel. I, as I'm sure you probably guessed, am working on getting us a bunch of new emotes. So we're gonna have some, at least I hope, very nice ones at the end of this. So should be good stuff. Oh, Ed, the only thing you missed me talking about was how I think I said that Aquaman died in the Battle of 5 Armies when Voldemort cut him down with a lightsaber or something like that. Something like that. We went absolutely absurd just crossing genres and making stuff up. So, yeah. That was... Exactly. So, here we go. We jump over to this page. Did this wire up at all? Oh, my... that kind of... It didn't like my component, I think. But again, that's why we did the small part instead of trying to do something serious. We grabbed the simplest example just to look and see if it was working at all. Cannot read default of undefined on line 10 of the JavaScript file. Alright, line 10 of the JavaScript file. Oh, that's not on the page. Yeah, derp. I deleted it off the page and then didn't actually get rid of it there, even though I intended to. I deleted it once and then put it right back. Okay, so you can't read the text on this button, but you sort of kind of can. Let me just do this so we can read it. Color, black. There we go. So now you can probably read that button a little bit, or at least tell that it's changing. So that is the component that we added in. So works perfectly. The way that got created is this. Essentially, once you create a component, you can just put its tag on the page, and it will essentially bind to that component automatically with this view object. So there's the whole view object that we're attaching to the page. We define which element it's going to use. So in this case, we told it to use the calendar element. And if you take a look at this, this div is actually what view is binding to. So we're telling view, hey, we're going to do some view binding here and attach yourself at this HTML element. When we use a component, we can still define templates that way. If we want to, even on this object, we can still define templates. That kind of stuff still happens. But in this object, instead of attaching to an element, we defined a template that we want it to use. So essentially, when it sees a button counter, it replaces it with this template that which the other stuff has bound to. So instead of just data, we can use functions, everything like that. We could use watches, computeds, and all the normal view stuff that we use. So these things down here where we have these computed stuff, we have the watches, the methods, anything like that that we would normally use in our view code, we can use on our component, and it will be just that piece that it's working with. So we can then bind to this. So that's the basic way that part works. And let me check out what's going on in chat here before we move on. Under the digit, which has got to be a better way to say that than what I'm saying, but maybe not. Maybe I'm still doing it right. But you're welcome for the streams. And Ed, yes, I absolutely love the way that the view works. It's good stuff. Let's see. Your rank is Blazor, Vue, React, and Angular. I would agree, except I can't put Blazor in anywhere because I haven't used it realistically anywhere yet. So Blazor's the only one that I would put somewhere else. Plutonin, yeah, so it's similar to use, so Ajax, if you by that you mean like ASP.NET Ajax, the built into web forms like Ajax loaders and other stuff like that, that were used commonly back in the day. The concepts are kinda similar, but they work differently and there's less tight coupling in this stuff. So the only problem we have right now is that this template is kinda ugly. So if it gets more complicated than this button, then we have a problem. Let me give you an example. If we were to, say, put this much code inside of a string, you would all be trying to figure out how to attack me through Twitch chat. So we're not going to do that. We are instead going to scroll down here and take a look, because I know there's a way to do it, but I don't remember what it is. So the documentation's going to tell us where this is. Welcome, Club NP. Thank you very much for that follow. Greatly appreciated. Let's... Template. Yeah, no. Template. Hang on. Let me script type template. I think this is the one that we want. X templates. Find templates is inside of a script element with the type. Yeah. Okay, so you have to define your template outside of the DOM element to which view is attached. Okay. I should be able to do that, I think. Alternative to... Okay, so there's inline, there's X templates. Oh, I forgot they could do that. That actually might be the way we want to do that piece. That would be way better. Thanks, SMB, for the attack. This would make a cool native script app after you finish the web portion. Absolutely could, Ed. There's a lot of cool stuff we could do with it. Alright, so let's do this. For now, just to keep things simple, we're going to put it on the calendar page itself. Now, obviously, that's not going to be its long-term living place. We're creating it here, and then we're going to figure out where we can put it instead. So remember that a template, so one rule I need to define here, as I recall, a template needs a root element. Romanasu, hello, greetings, welcome, thanks for that follow, much appreciated. So what that means to us is that we need to make sure that we have this root div included, because we need a single root element inside of a template. That is absolutely critical to the creation of these. They do require it. So we will put it here, and there is our initial script that we're going to create. This should define the template. We're not going to call it Hello World template. We are going to call it tag selector template for now. We might rename at some point. So instead of saying template and then hard coding that, we are instead going to say template and define the name of one based on that. So that should be our template now. The name is no longer button counter, it's this. And down here, where did I pull it from? Was it the last one? It was the last one. Okay. So it's going to be this, like that. So there's our tag selector, nicely created. I don't think we actually need to put the components in here because we're not registering in that same way. Uncharted Pro, Kieran, welcome, greetings, thanks for hanging out. We are working on a right now it is an ASP.NET Core web application that we're working on. It's a community site that we're building for the benefit of the live coding community here on Twitch, as well as in theory anywhere else on the internet eventually. We have not added the YouTube bits or the Mixer bits yet. We're starting off just connecting Twitch, and we'll add the others later. Obviously, we're starting with the one that we use. So we think it makes sense. All right, so data on this object that we want to have is going to be the, first off, all the tags. We need all the tags. And I should mention something that is different between the way that a component works and the way that just a regular view object works. So the regular view object has data, and that just defines an object. On the component, it is going to be data is going to be a function that returns an object. So slight variance in how that works. Just wanted to make sure that that you all see that, so that you're not like, hey, what's going on? Why is that different? Okay. So I am actually going to call this selected tags, because I like that name better. So we're going to have selected tags, is loading tags, and show more tags. These, I think, are the pieces we want to pull out. Thank you for that follower, Kieran. Much appreciated. And thanks, S&B, for spamming the chat with hype, because that's exactly what we need when someone follows. It's a little bit of hype. Feel free, anybody that's ever in here, when someone subscribes, just spam the chat with hype emotes if you've got them. Alright, let's have a look. I think we can cut those. So where did these get used? So, fetch events, fetch time zones. Nope, convert data load tags. Here it is, tag search. And show that, and click tag. Okay, these are the methods that we want to steal and put over here in our component instead. Methods. Alright, that should be defined correctly. So we have tag search, show more or less tags. Let's also now find the mounted, which should have happened. Here it is. So we want to have a mounted in ours as well. And I'm actually going to do that before the methods, because it makes sense to me that you see what happens when it loads before you call those. So assuming it lets me. So mounted, we're going to call this .tag search, which is going to be this. Tag search is going to be that. Show more or less tags. So that's just toggling that bit. That is clicking a tag, which is either going to add it or remove it. We should probably change that to be add and remove instead of again, click, because we should define it by what it's doing. Alright, so we don't need to do a tag search anymore, because that isn't on this object. And convert data to local, fetch time zones, included, watch included tags, and fetch events. Not gonna do that right now, which actually I'm gonna do that because we're gonna need to replace this with something. So let's put a marker here for ourselves. Replace with component trigger. The component is gonna need to tell us that we need more data. So I need to put a reminder there for myself before we commit that or delete it that we need to fix that. Let's see. We don't care about that. Available included. Okay, so computed included tags. Did we use this anywhere? I'm not sure where we used that, but I don't want it. Available tags is a computed value that we are going to use up here as well. Computed derp. There we go. That'll be computed available tags function. That's that. Okay. So that uses model included tags, which we don't want to do. We want to use selected tags instead. This selected tags, this selected tags, this selected tags. There we go. Tag search. When it gets us back, it sets tags. Yep, show more tags. That's the bit we're flipping there. Selected tags equals this, which we're going to change this to be this dot that. I don't need that constant anymore because the name is shorter. Did we get everything? Let's look down here. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. That. We can get rid of included tags. In here, selected time zones, that's that. Okay. I think we got all those changes. Let's take a look in our CSHTML file and have a look at the templated stuff. Okay, so this was saying model.included tags, which we want to change to selected tags again because we renamed that. Tag selection button success, click tag. Again, included model included tags is going to switch to selected tags. And tag selection available tags, show more tags, click tag, show less available tags. Yeah, looks good. Okay, great. We are going to go ahead and build the site just in case and refresh the page that we're looking at once we're sure that that's done behind us there. If it doesn't build, sometimes it will fail to build because the website has refused to let go of the DLLs that it's using to run. So that happens every once in a while. The website is just not letting go, and that's the only problem. Okay, so here we're having a little bit of trouble calculating the count still, but generally speaking, the control works. So that tells us a couple of things. First off, it bound to the template correctly. It's binding the data, it is pulling it, so our methods, our computeds, our and those sorts of values are working. What seems to not be working right now is the count, and very likely the code that was given to us from Michael Jolly that does the check of the count against the number of channels might be failing as well. Failed to load resources, API events responded with a 500. Okay, I'm not. We'll check on that one. That is probably unrelated to what we're working on right now, so that is some other change. So we'll take a look. This page is in flux, so we're not surprised at all by something like that. We're just taking a look and seeing how these bindings work, and seems to be going reasonably well so far. Okay, so... Oh, we're missing his code, actually, now that I think about it. We are missing his code. We should go accept that by doing this. I am going to merge the change in instead of rebasing on it, only because I did something that will otherwise make it messy. So we won't worry about it. I will accept that problem. Okay. This should have... What? Really? This didn't cause us a problem? Didn't I just merge in his changes? I swear I did. Maybe I'm going crazy. Brave Cobra, a bit off topic, but has anybody tried adding OAuth, Auth0 to a Swagger UI interface in ASP.NET Core? No, I have not tried it in ASP.NET Core, Brave Cobra. And Invasion, welcome. Thanks for invading the channel, much appreciated. Glad you're here. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about that just yet. We'll deal with whatever that merge conflict is later. Always appreciated. We're glad to have people invading the channel coming on in here. It's always nice. So, what do we want to do with this? I need to look at where we're doing that count right now, which is going to be back here. So, count. What? Where's the count? Oh god, are we not doing it in this one yet? Oh, we might not be doing it here yet. I bet that's the problem. Handles index.js. I bet we're just not doing it. Let's just post GraphQL. If this dot channels, yeah, okay. Okay. That's a good question. We are not doing it. How do we want to handle that? Okay, let's take a look at take a look here. What do we want to do? Passing data to a child component with properties. Creating a component for a blog post. The problem is that components won't be useful if we can't pass data in such as... Yeah, so if we define properties on this that we could then specify, but we don't necessarily want to hard code them, we want to bind these. Twitchloff, what is it? Oh, 9 months, Twitchloff! Congratulations! You now have some little grabbers to hold hype signs above your head. Welcome! Glad you're here. YES5 syntax? Where am I using swub? Where am I using ES5 syntax instead of ES6 syntax? I probably am somewhere. No, link slumps. Merge conflicts not with yours. It's something on mine. There's view.net. Did you know that? What are you talking about? No. And remove the word Google. View.net. I don't know what you're talking about. If it exists, it's not in my view component. I'll take a look, Swubs. Why did it thank Twitchloft for following? It should have thanked him for a subscription. Maybe Twitchloft also followed? I don't know. It's probably a little confused right now, Crimson Green. I mentioned at the beginning of the stream that the reason why the bot's a little bit... Oh, see? He misclicked. He unfollowed, then followed. See? See? The bot wasn't wrong. I thought it might have been. But take a look at that sub badge there, Twitchloft. You have your, you've got your little grabbers there. File you can use useview.net. Janiscu, send me some information about that over in Discord. Because I would love to take a look at what you're talking about. Okay, so these values are based on that, so blog post for that, so bind the title and the key based on those values. Yeah, that's what we want to do. So then if the values change, we can do that. So let's change these properties. So we're going to add a property to this that we're going to say is the channels, I think. We're going to give this access to the relevant channels that it's displaying against. Or tagged items. Let's call them items. Not this one. This one. So we have data, and I'm going to follow data with properties. And our property is going to be... Okay, so property just ends up immediately on the data, as it looks like, and we can just bind it. So we're going to call this items, channels. We'll call it channels for now, and then change it later. So it's going to be like hard-coded to the fact that it is channels at the moment, and then we will not worry about it after that. So my hope is that we can bind the channels to this. So we'll say channels, except what we're going to do is we are going to actually bind it. So we're going to say vbind channels. Like this, channels. And it is going to be channels? Is it called channels? Events. Well, that's interesting, because this one's got events and that one's got channels. Yeah, see? We totally need to call them something else. It's not going to be called channels. We're fixing that. From channels, we change it to items. Tagged items. vbind tagged items to events. Okay. So then inside of here, when we get back our data, what we did before was this. Which means we want to do the same concept over here when we get back our tag data. So right there, we want to say if this not tagged items, this dot tag for each that tag name. So inside of these, we're going to check the tags that are on it. I'm not sure these have tags, to be honest. I'm going to need to see what's on an event. Does it have the tags? No, it doesn't. We can get them, though. We'll add the tag names. Let me check out what's going on in chat. ASP.NET Vue.NET for ASP.NET MVC. Plutonin, you know React.js.NET. Yeah. And I saw none. Oh, they talked about it on the AspNet community stand-up. That's cool, Janiscu. Twitchloft, not exactly. I think it would have to be per stream. I think you could maybe do that. vbind is not necessary. Swubs, I don't have to vbind it. I mean, that'd be useful if I don't. Tag names equals channel dot select. Do I not have link included? Okay, what created this? This did. What created this list? That's that. So that was called by creating this. Go to the implementation of that. What? Okay, so is that, but you're lying to me? Thank you. Yep, you were lying to me. Visual Studio, I wish you were as good as ReSharper. I need to install ReSharper again. Everybody's always like, oh yeah, no, they've added all the things that ReSharper's got. No, they really haven't. Until they can do those as well as ReSharper, which I admit ReSharper needs to work on their performance issues, but Visual Studio needs to more likely just embrace, you know, actually doing the full thing that their third-party vendors are building, or just leverage them better or help work with them to make them better, something. So did we actually pull tags? Yeah, but did we actually pull the tags? We pull out the stream session, but we're not actually pulling the tags now, are we? No, we didn't. Select star. Oh, that's a problem. Oh, yeah. Swubs, yes, you're correct. You can just do the shorthand. I don't usually do the shorthand for most of my Vue.js, just because we have a lot of people that are new to it, so I do not usually cut those off. But we've done it a few times on stream. Real Cosmic. Hey, I'm pretty sure I figured out that name. ReSharper has a lot of things that it finds that other people just don't know about. The thing that also makes it have performance issues is the fact that it does all of its own parsing. My assumption on this one, and why ReSharper slowed down, is that I think the fact that Microsoft now has Roslyn running in the background there, and ReSharper also has its own stuff going, I think they're fighting. I think it's the fact that they're both trying to grab the files and read them all the time that is causing ReSharper's slowness. Now, to be fair, since ReSharper is an add-in to Visual Studio, it should be getting out of the way and you know, resolve its performance issues, or in some way leverage Roslyn to be able to do more of that work. I know that that's the route that its competitor CodeRush went, which was, oh, we can just leverage Roslyn? Okay, we'll stop building our own stuff and just start using theirs. I'm fairly certain they switched to that. ReSharper does not have to emit anything, so they can iterate much faster than the Roslyn team. Yeah, that is fair. Exactly. So there's actually a number of features that ReSharper's had for a long time that Visual Studio didn't, and almost all of the refactoring stuff that Visual Studio has gotten over the past like 10 years of improvements, pretty much all of them were already done by ReSharper. So anybody that had it was used to having those Anyway. Okay. And no problem at all, Swubs. Yeah, we try to do things the right ways, but also in ways that are going to be good for a lot of beginners to watch, and knowing the idea that, again, we're doing this on a stream, so we do have viewers, and we are going to chat and engage a lot. So not a but still chime in with that kind of stuff, because it's good to know if I am derping something and I should be doing it a different way. But yes, what was I doing? So we did that. I think I want that to be a multi-query. So we do it all as one go, instead of breaking it up. Hang on 1 second. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. That I meant to do. Really? Where is it? There it is. Yeah, see, I was trying to disappear off camera, and my Stream Deck wasn't making me disappear, so I had to fix that first. And then I could disappear like magic. Okay, so let's see. So first off, let's change up our Dapper call here. I want to do this as a channel args. Hang on. Let's make this channel IDs. Or wait, did that come from the other one? This came from the other call, didn't it? Okay. We could still potentially reuse this data. And that could work. But I kind of wonder now whether we should do this as a single call or not. No, we'll do it as the separate calls. Okay, we're not going to worry about it for now. We're going to ignore that value, and we're not going to do this. We're going to make it simpler. We're not going to include the tags there. We're not going to include the value on this. We're going to go back in here. This is going to be a customization of the component. The component is going to decide whether or not we're going to show that. Whether or not we're going to show that. So tagged items. So if we don't have tagged items, we're not going to display that. So on the calendar CSHTML page inside of the template, where we are showing the count right here, this is dependent on whether or not we need to show that value. So let's make this a tag display computed property. So we're going to call this tag dot, we can't do that. We could make it that way, but I don't want to do that. So it'll be, we're going to say display tag and pass in the tag. And this will be a method on this. That will be display tag. Takes in a tag. And it will return back a string that is equal to... actually, let's just create it. Welcome, whomever that was that just followed. Much appreciated. I will get back to you in a moment. Let text equal tag dot name and we're gonna say if really this dot what's the property? Tagged items. Tagged items. Then text plus equals this computed value, which is going to be a space, those, and the count, which is defined like this, and it's going to be tag.count. And we will return back text. So that's how that should work. Welcome, Swubs, Blexer. Thank you very much for following, much appreciated. Glad you're enjoying the stream. This is, what is it? What episode number is this? I don't even know. Episode 191? Wow. We're nearing in on that 200th episode of DevChatter, so that is crazy awesome. I am looking forward to it. It should be a good one. I don't know if we're gonna do anything special for the 200th episode. I haven't planned anything yet for it. But either way, 200th episode will be absolutely crazy. So, cannot believe it has been that many episodes already. Okay. Let's take a look at that page. Where is it? Right over here. Let's see if we butchered that. It should just get rid of that number, but we added a new property thing. Oh, no, the number's going to be there. No, it's not. We bound it to an empty collection, I think. Or maybe tag, properties tagged items? Tagged items. If this tagged items, we don't do this anymore. Well, actually, do we? Hang on. Did we bind it over here to that? Tagged items as events? Well, we're going to find out. I'm going to toss a couple of debuggers in here. Just force it to pull us over there, and we'll see what happens. Bring that up here. Great, I got it. Failed to load some resource. Okay, what do we got? We're in here. There's no filter. Mobebo, hey, welcome. And Mihai TV, greetings. Hello. Swubs, this dot tagged? Did I call it tagged? I'll take a look, Swubs. Be careful posting those. The bot, that's Nightbot, and it's kind of stupid. It does not... I will take a look at that. This dot tagged items. The bot is not smart enough to tell the difference between a link and anything that's using dots to determine those. This dot tagged items on your last function. This one? If this dot tagged items. I was thinking it would let me get access to the property that way, but we're going to have to take a look. Am I able to get access to it that way once I've used a property? Full guide on properties. There we go. So specify a bunch of properties. Oh, that seems way better. Why wouldn't we do it this way? Bind title to that. Post, bind links to that. Bind that to that. How do you find your ideas for project? I have a hard time choosing a nice idea for an open source project. Mihai TV, I pretty much just work on something that I think would be useful to me or someone else in the short term, and that's what I build. So examples of projects I'm working on right now, I am working on this DevStreams site that we're building here today, and I'm also building that interactive element for Final Fantasy VII. So I've got some friends that stream Final Fantasy VII and build stuff for that, including Strife, who was here a while ago. I don't know if he's still around, but if he is, hi Strife. And essentially the idea is we want to be able to end Sunamod. Hey, there's Sunamod. See? Yeah, that was perfect timing there, Sunamod. I was gonna say I've got some friends that do stuff with Final Fantasy VII, and so I was like, yeah, I can. So like, Suna suggested a thing that Strife wanted to have built. I guess it was Strife's idea. Sunamod's mentioned it to me, and I was like, yeah, I can build that. Like, that should be easy. So that was an easy one to decide to do. Okay, so can we use local data as property afterwards? Okay. Oh. It's best to oh, okay, so if you want to pass in the initial value and then use it afterwards, it implies that I should be able to just use the data the way that I am, so that looks correct. Additionally, I can define them based on type, so I am going to do that, because this seems a little bit nicer than the string-based approach that we were using. That are using, yeah, that's probably a better definition of what we're doing here. Let's cut that. Hey, cut that out. Alright, tagged items, which I could technically leave as a string just because of the way that JavaScript works if I really wanted to. But I'm not going to. I apparently can't type today. Don't ask me why. This should be an array of objects. So how complex can we get with this? Type object or array defaults return from a factory function. I don't need a default. Do you do anything other than that? No. Okay. So, and was it capital A? Yeah. So we're going to do a tagged items array, and let's take a look at the code one more time. I nuked my debuggers, right? Before we try that again? Okay. Refresh the page, no more of that. Okay, so tag selection seems to work just fine. Let's refresh that. Yep, okay. So that is wiring up. Now the challenge here is that I was expecting you're right, I could define that it's required, Swubs. That is actually a really good suggestion. I love that snippet. I don't think it is going to be required. I think we're instead going to add a Boolean that will have a default value instead. So the thought being whether or not we need to have those items would be specified. Yeah, exactly. So required false defaulted to null might be the approach that we take. Which I don't know if we'll default to null specifically. But I do think that we'll probably go that route. So required false and default. Maybe it will null. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Nikki Supra, hey, welcome back. You're sitting at work trying to finish up your database documentation. Oh, well that sounds absolutely fun, Nikki Supra. And thanks for that 8-month resub. Wow. One more sub and your Chatosaurus will have his we'll have the ability to hold a hype sign over his head. Null value or something that is a defined null. Yeah, so link slumps, I'm just going to put the null in here because in JavaScript I kind of want this to be able to automatically convert. So like I want it to be treated as a Boolean when I use it in an if. So, which should be able to work as a null or an empty should be fine. Essentially, I want to be able to do it here. There's tagged items. And then here, if we have tagged items, display that. So I'm going to make a Boolean on the properties that's called show count instead. And this will be a type Boolean required true. So we'll do that. We'll use this instead. Which realistically we need the other one in order to do it, but I think this is clearer. Bind show count. We'll do that, and then not this page. This page. Okay, so there we go. So we need a way then of sorting these, because we obviously don't want all the tags. We're gonna figure out grouping or something. You've mounted function. Why not just mounted as a method? And just do it as a method instead of actually putting the word function on there, just leaving it as named and treating it like my view object is an ES6 class. No real reason. So just habit. That's the way we wrote it. So yeah, we can totally do that. Like this, but that's just not the format we used for it. I mean, it works basically the same. So it's just what are you watching for? Either one's fine. So, the short answer is I don't have a good reason. That one probably should be just a method, but I'm not going to change it now because well, actually this one I could change because this one's new. I was going to say I didn't want to have like an unnecessary change just popping into this one because of how many other changes we're already making in this change set, but You're right, that is new code, so I can totally just add that one in. Okay. How do I watch the child object? Alright, let's watch the child object. Child. Passing data to child. Nope, listening to child component events. Yes, this is the one. V on enlarge text. So was that method, but how did we define the V on the hang on. Yeah, as I was gonna say, it's like it's the same thing, and it really comes down to what people are expecting to see there. Need to have a tag type programming language, framework, stream language. Yes, S&B. I don't have a I don't have a quick answer for you on that one, Mihai TV. If you want to take a look at any of the source code on the project here, it is out on GitHub if you want to take a look. Everyone should code with a Nike Supra. I will have. Which company is that one? And I don't usually toss a screen in portrait mode when I'm working on stuff. It's one of the ultra-wide curved monitors from LG. Got it. That must be what the C and the W are, curved and wide. That looks like an amazing monitor. Looks hilarious. Yeah. Okay, so Swubs was mentioning that we need to omit this. For example, we may want the blog post component to be in charge of how much to enlarge the text by. In those cases, we want to use emits second parameter to provide this value. So when we click on the button that's inside of our template, it looks like the button inside of the template. Yep, that's the one. Enlarge the text on that much. Then when we listen to the event in the parent, so blog post, custom events can also be used to create custom endpoints that work with it. Do they not have a So that's passing data 2. Where is my pull it out? So that binds all these properties. And then when we listen to it, post font size, for a blog post, we set up those values. Create that. Parent can choose to listen to any event on the child component instance with V on. Okay, so in this example, what we're missing here is that this, I believe, is supposed to be written such that it's on the actual, like, blog post object here. Blog post is the one that has the button. So this is letting us talk to that on the parent. So okay, so that goes on to our case. Goes on our tag selector, we're saying. We're not doing enlarge text. We're saying v on selection changed. So they're just adding the total that was sent out by the emitted event, right? So they emitted an event when you click, and they do that with that being the value. So we have to call this, and I apologize if someone's mentioning this in my chat somewhere, how to do this. So we don't want to use that value, but $event seems to be the one that we are going to get. So let's say, you know what? I don't need to know what the value is if I can bind to it. Let's say tags changed. Say tag selection changed. Tag selection changed an event, and then if we go up here, can we call this from? Where do they have a section on using emit over here? On the left? Yeah, there we go. So this is the one I was just in. That doesn't help me, guys. In this case, hang on, let's on the child, this not emit that on parent. At event name equals child emitted event. Yeah, sorry, Brave Cobra. Feel free to talk about it in chat. All right, so the short answer to the question, so what Swub is mentioning is that we can, in our click tag, regardless of which kind of click tagging we did, we can say this dot emit and pass in our event name, and I think I want to pass this dot tag selected tags. Like so. The event name is going to be selection changed. Tag selection changed, and then that's the event data, which I think we can get away with. And tag selection changed in here is just going to be a method that we're going to do as, and yes, I'm going to use this syntax again. We're going to say selected tags. Yeah, selected tags. And that means that... Ooh, I just had a thought. I think I can do this a different way. Can I do it like this? Can this detect changes to the properties that it was created on? Let me read about properties real fast again. Props. Don't change the props in the child, just emit the event. Alright, we'll go that way. So we will do this. So model.selected tags equals that. Will just be what we do. Let's have a look. Let's see what we get. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. We're also going to have to check and see why the events are currently not pulling back, but that is an unrelated problem. Alright, let's do this. We're going to go to the Network tab, make sure it's all nice and clear. Nope. What happened? Show count. What? I swear I had that property on there. Did we get rid of it? What? Am I smoking something here? What is it? That's events. It's component basics, properties. Even though false is static, we need vbind to tell view that this is JavaScript expression rather than a string. Yeah, we did that. Vbind show count false. Was show count not what we called the property? I swear we called the property show count. Boolean required true. It's right there. Prop show count is passed to component anonymous, but the declared property is show count. Got it. We'll kebab case it. which means we'll adjust how the event was triggered as well. Wait, what? Is published is here. Where's is published? Oh, and then it's like that here. Okay. So we camel it there, and then we do it this way here. Okay. I wonder if that applies to the event as well. I don't know. Huh, we're gonna have to find out on that. Sorry, Brave Cobra. Okay, so it wants me to do selection-changed as well. Okay. That answers that question. Glad they've got those warnings for it. Well, it doesn't seem to be triggering, so let's toss a debugger in here. Which I know I could just add a breakpoint, but we're just doing it this way. Don't worry about it. Debugger. So when we click a tag, we should hit a debugger before we decide whether or not to send that up. And then the next place I want to stop is... Oh, watch included tags. Oh, right! That was a computed there. They were watching there. So we're not watching selected tags anymore. Yeah, okay. So we'll make that included tags, and we will bring this back. So maybe it was firing the whole time. We're about to find out. Nope. Well, maybe I go fix that 500 error while we're dealing with this. Yeah, I use a lot of Pascal casing. It's my .NET background, so... I can't remember what casing I used back when I... So, before switching to .NET, what, like... I don't know, 14 years ago or something like that? I used to be a Python developer and a C++ developer, but to be honest, I don't remember the casing I used. I've been using this one now for so long. And JavaScript's casing, for most stuff, tends to be similar. They just use camel case more frequently than the .NET community does. Snake casing. Nice, Fuel Snable. No, they shed that many years ago. Alright, I'm done here. Staircasing? Yeah, there you go. Yes, I also enjoyed Avengers Endgame. I've seen the movie twice now, actually. Yeah, Zunga. That's how it goes sometimes. Okay, so this seems to work. Yeah, shed. Ha, ha. Yep. I'll be here all night. No, I won't be here all night. Be sure to tip your waiter. Which is a reference that might not make any sense to some people. Not every, so we move this up here. So that's moving the template up to the top of the file from down below. Maybe we should work on the other one first. That's a good question. Let's go take a look at the other one. Let's extract it out as a template the same way. We'll see how they match up, because they should be done the same way. These two pieces do the same thing. That's why we're extracting out the component. So over in the calendar CSHTML, we defined the template like this. So let's grab the script tag from here. We're just going to toss it there for now and close the script tag. Do that, and now we want to grab the div out of this one that does the tag selection, which is going to be this div here. There was an extra div for some reason. I don't know why. Okay. Sweet. Thanks for failing there, thing. Alright, next thing we need to do is channel index, which is this one. This needs to have the component in it instead of the other one. And we're going to move this somewhere else, because this is not where it's going to live long term. It's not going to live at the top of one of these files with one of these things, because that just doesn't make sense. Okay, so we're going to create one of these. And I'm actually going to close the code correctly. So we're going to return back selected tags. Tags is loading tags and show more tags as the structure of our object. We are going to have those properties that we specified, because we're absolutely going to need to have those. We're going to specify the same template we did for the other one. We are going to, when it mounts, do a tag search just to get the initial data. We need a computed value to determine the tags that are actually available to be shown. Do we need our methods? We need our tag search, show more or less click, and display tag. Yes, we're going to grab all of those. So we do need this whole set, but that's fine. So this is the code. So I think that's what we actually need, which is this one. We'll extract it from this side because I think this is the side where it's actually going to work. So there is our defined script that does this. Let's take a look at our properties. Selected tags, tags is loading and show more tags. So we're going to say selected tags, available tags. Those seem correct. All those should be correct as well. I see stuff happening in chat. I will get to that in a second, everyone. Just give me a moment here. Okay. Let's jump over to all channels from this page and just take a look at what the errors, if any, are. I want to jump to the channels page because that one's a little easier to take care of because it has the tag data on the channel objects, whereas the events don't yet have that. So because we haven't pulled that data yet, it doesn't quite work here just yet. I wasn't sure before, but I write PowerShell functions like it was C#. Janiscu, it makes a lot of sense to write PowerShell functions just like they're C#. Stream. There's demand for streaming of almost anything, Brave Cobra. You just gotta find the correct audience for it. I didn't include the tag on the page, so let's go do that. Do 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 do. Put it right there. Tag selector, show count. True. B-bind. What did we call that property? What is the property called? Tagged items. Tagged items. What do we put in tagged items? That is going to be channels, I think. Channels. Let's see. Why didn't you write the backend in PowerShell? I find it more... Thanks, me, ITV, yeah. Remember the scheduler idea from Discord? May have found a resolution on it finally. Scheduler idea from Discord? Ed, I don't remember what you're talking about, but yes, bunch of hype. Things I keep myself occupied with are things I don't know. Streaming that looks... I just don't remember what we're talking about. Oh, the the calendar thing. Yeah. The displaying of a calendar schedule thing. Yes, that. Sounds good. I will ping you after the show, Ed. I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yes. Okay, so these are working, and we're displaying zeros for the count. So let's take a look at where that count is calculated and see if we can't figure out why it's doing that. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Clearly because tag count is 0. That's not what I mean. I mean right here. Paused in a debugger. Show count, true. Tagged items, length of 0. Okay. And it never does it again, because those values were not there when this collection was bound. That's a problem. Does a breakpoint here. This, what is it? It's not available tags. It's, this tagged items. I need the console open here. So let's get the console. This dot tagged items. Yeah, okay, they're here now. Alright, so the problem is, it's when that property gets loaded. Can I watch a property? I wonder, can I watch a property? That's a good question. let's do this. I want to watch tagged items. I don't need it to be one of those. Actually, yeah, why not? If any property on tagged items changes, let's do something with it. It doesn't need to be async. We're not doing anything weird with it. Oh, actually, tag search not async, yeah. Tag search. Oh wait, I don't want a tag search based on that. What am I derping? Why am I derping my derps? This is a method. This is a function. This is a method. Let's see. Count tag usages. Count tag usage? Count tag usage? That makes sense. Okay. This dot count tag usage. So we're gonna do that there. And then this is also gonna get called here. Count tag usage that. So if show tags that, recalculate based on that value. Hey, they're counting now. Excellent. Okay. Order should always be based on those numbers, not just when they changed. Is searching a SQL query there a searching a SQL query? Oh, yeah, Brave Cobra. My search is just a SQL query. We're not using Lucene.net or Elasticsearch on that. I think that I think it's likely that those would be overkill for what we're doing here, because this is an actual like just tag piece. Now that being said, that if we wanted to do like a full-on search and we wanted like free search for whatever term you wanted, we could absolutely implement something with Lucene if someone actually wanted to do that, and we could create and maintain a search index that was actually used for finding this data. And yes, Brave Cobra, if you want to add Lucene to the project, I would not complain about it. But it feels like it wowould be overkill for what we're doing. Maybe I'm crazy. Problems with so Mr. Balrog, you've had problems with Umbraco templates in Azure using Lucene. I have not actually used Lucene on an Azure site before, actually. It's been quite a few years since I've used Lucene. Where would I store the index? That depends, Brave Cobra. Somewhat on how big the index ends up getting. Now, why aren't these getting sorted? Why aren't these sorted? Where were they sorted before? Whoops, wrong one. Meant to be here. We need to kill that other code for a reason. Okay, so What's derp? Interwebs, answer my question. JavaScript, fast in place sort. Yep. I don't really care if it's stable or not, but I mean, I won't complain if it is. I don't really need it to be... Well, alright, you know what? We'll just sort it. Docs, what do you say? Nope, that's not the docs. Where are the docs? Thank you. And I know they're not really the docs, but they're the docs. I treat them as the docs. You know, what can I... so I can specify the compare function, so we'll do that. Or I could do that, and the parameters are going to be the first element and the second element. Okay, we'll do that. This dot tags dot sort, and we will pass in a function which is going to be a, b, and return back a number that is going to be a dot, what did we call it? Count minus b dot count. A dot count minus b dot count. And I forget the ordering on that, so I might have that backwards. That's backwards. I can never remember. There we go. Sorted. It's sort left, right. If left greater is right, return 1. If left is less than right, return 1. Sort of. Oh, okay. It should be rather limited, I would guess, since the amount of data is not that much. Brave Cobra, yeah, that's assuming that we don't get a lot of streams added. They're like, even if we had, say, like, you know, 1,000 live coding streams, I still wouldn't think it would be all that large. There's an older library that offers Lucene index storage in Azure Blob Storage, but that's only Lucene 3, not the newer 4.8. Oh, okay. Well, hey, if it works, awesome. Sort of. Ha! Wow, that was Mr. Balrog. That was something else. That was something else. Okay, so the next thing we need to wire up here is the ability for that code to respond to the changes we make to the component. So we need to look at the event again. So that's what we were looking at before, and we think it's gonna work. So custom events. Custom events, event names, my event, Oh, okay. So it's all lowercase. That explains a lot. Okay, so selection changed will be selection changed. Wait. Hang on. Unlike components and properties, event names will never be used as a variable or property names in JavaScript, so there's no reason to camel or Pascal case. Additionally, Vion event listeners inside DOM-elements will be automatically transformed to lowercase due to HTML's case insensitivity, so that would become that, making my event impossible to listen to. So we don't want to omit that. Where do they emit? So they emit all lowercase. Do they have an example of even kebab casing? No. Thanks for not even including a single example of that, guys. That was fantastic. Well done on the documentation with that one. So emit selection changed. And pass the tags. Tag selection changed is the thing that we want to have. This needs to be a method on here. So these can disappear. Function. Tags. This dot tags equals selected. Tags equals tags. That's the word we're looking for. This dot select the tags equals tags format, start time format tags. Format tags. Oh, for displaying the list. Yeah. Fetch channels. After it fetches the channels. Did I put it in this one? We are watching the tagged items. So I think if they change the channels, we get that, I think. We would no longer have any computed values in this. We don't need to do a tag search when we initialize the page. We don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need that. Whoops, we need that one. We need that one. Oh, no, wait, we don't need that one. We just need this one. Search filters selected tags. Which also means down here we were supposed to do search filters dot selected tags equals tags. And their watch is actually on search filters, and it is a deep watch on search filters. So when we change that value, it should catch it. Okay, still not wired together. Do we have an error? Okay, there we go. Selection changed. Right. Cannot set property selected tags of undefined. And I bet it's plural. It was. Hey, I don't know why it slowed down so much there for a second. That was a little strange, but we'll do this. Clear that out. does generally seem to work. It's a little wonky. What's with the, I'm not sure what's causing the... Oh, it's this! Okay. Because we have it in the middle of the site. So... next thing we need to do is remove the need to display that, which should be the change that we got from Michael Jolly. So we should have that one already. But either way, I do think that that's generally working. It is responding to that, so it works much better in this place than it does in the other one. So we need to figure out how to wire up the other one to work a little bit nicer, which means we need to pull the additional data that it needs. So we will take a look at that on our next episode, which should be on Thursday. So we'll take a look at that then. For those of you that are new here, I do want to mention a couple of things. First off, be sure to check out our Discord, as that is a great place to chat with the rest of us here on the stream. And by that I mean, while we're not streaming, there are a bunch of us in the Discord, so if you do want to chat about interesting stuff or work on any of our projects, that is absolutely the place to be. Speaking of our projects, if you are someone that knows about this kind of stuff and have any interest in it, be sure to check out our GitHub. Again, that is linked in chat at github.com/devchatter. And you are welcome to send us pull requests or suggestions, report issues that you find, anything like that, or just, browse through the code as you like. Feel free to fork the code, take a look, let us know what you think, make suggestions. If you're interested in checking out any of our old videos of any of the live streams we've done, as I said, I think this is episode 191 of the stream. There's a video section here on Twitch above my head. There's a link, and you should be able to find that video section to see all of our recent streams that we've done here. And if you want to see the archive of our previous ones, there is a YouTube channel that I linked in the chat, and it's also linked down below. That will, it's at youtube.com/c/devchatter, and that has the full archives of our stream over there. S&B, I mentioned that at the beginning of the stream. There is not yet a plan for what we're going to do for the 200th episode of DevChatter. We'll probably do some kind of celebration for it, as 200 episodes of a stream is, while an arbitrary round number for those of us that use a base 10 numbering system, it is a very large number as well. A massive code party. That is possible, S&B. Grow a beard and dye it. Brave Cobra. I have previously had a beard. I'm not planning on growing one out before the 200th stream, as that would yeah, that would be a little bit short notice to grow a beard. Plus, then I'd have to get a mohawk. Yeah. Oh, well, either way, I want to click a couple more buttons. First off, I'm going to toss some more links in the chat, and I want to click this one while I look to see who is streaming right now. So I want to make sure that I thank everybody that helped us out today, including our moderators, Crimson Green, Ed, Charbonneau, and S&B. Thanks for hanging out today. I want to make sure I thank all of our followers, these lovely people that decided to join us today. And we got 3 resubs from those lovely people as well. So thank you all for helping out with that. Always appreciated. We will be back on Thursday for some more coding on this stream. I think I mentioned that. If you don't know, we actually stream 4 days a week here on DevChatter on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And I say that, however, we missed yesterday's stream. So don't kill me over that one. It happens. I've got stuff I have to do. Come on. This is a spare time stream still. And until we can actually figure out how to make this a full-time gig for me, I will be busy every once in a while. However, I want to thank everybody for hanging out. Yes, exactly. As S&B says, real life happens. And I want to have us go on a nice raid. So stick around if you can. We are going to raid someone who I don't know who's live. This is why we need our site and our page, because I don't know how long people have been streaming. So let's go this way. You know what? We got a pull request from the Michael Jolly this week. So hopefully he's not about to end his stream. Does he have a bot that keeps track of his uptime? 2 hours. He's been live as long as I have. Huh. Let's see. Robert Tables, does he have an uptime? 14 minutes. He wins. Congratulations. Sorry, the Michael Jolly. We're heading this way. So hang around, everybody, because I do want you to participate in this raid, as it is always nice and especially good for the developer community if we are able to actually hang out, say hi, do that kind of thing. So we are going to raid Robert Tables. It looks like he's just starting on his code for the day. He's about 15 minutes in, so be sure to follow us on that. I need to yell at him because he has his channel marked as intended for mature audiences, which I don't think it really is. I can't remember him ever even swearing on there, but maybe he does. We don't usually swear on here only because we just want to be a welcoming community, and it's easier if we don't. I want to make sure that I thank all of you for hanging out today. We will be back again on Thursday. Should be a fun stream then, and I want to basically get this stuff working. Hopefully we can fix up our bot, make it work again. There's a handful of things. We're going to review some pull requests, because I know that that link slumps was getting us one, so we'll take a look at that. Anyway, I will see you later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy coding, everyone, and take care.